Regulation of HCl in the stomach, and for us to appreciate its regulation, we have to know how it is secreted. And so, in the stomach, we have two portions, or maybe three. We have the fundus, we have the body, and we have the antrum. Now, in the wall of the stomach, which has infoldings that are noted as rugae, we have some pits that are found there. Now, in these pits, that is where we find our glands. Now, these are simply a collection of cells that are able to secrete. Now, we have two types of glands that we find in the stomach. We have the oxyntic, also known as the gastric gland, and the pyloric gland. Now, the oxyntic glands are found in the body and the fundus area mostly, whilst the pylorics are found mostly in the antral part of the stomach. Anyway, one thing that distinguishes them is the types of cells that they have and what these cells secrete. For instance, first of all, they both have the surface mucus cells that secrete mucus, and of course we know that mucus is there to protect the cells, the surface cells, from a direct sort of communication between harsh secretions such as hydrochloric acid. The hydrochloric acid itself is secreted by parietal cells that are found in the oxyntic glands. And we also have the enterochromatin-like cells. These secrete histamine. And we also have chief cells that secrete pepsinogen. These are used for protein digestion. Now, in the pyloric, we have the G cells and the D cells, which produce gastrin and somatostatin respectively. These have to go into the blood so that they have an effect on the target cells. So they sort of have an endocrine kind of action. And so, having known now where the HCl is produced from, we just want to see that the parietal cells have infoldings on the luminal side, which are known as canaliculi. So if HCl is produced, it is first taken into the canaliculi and then into the lumen of the cell. So in this case, you have HCl produced here, it goes into the canaliculi, and then from the canaliculi, it goes into the lumen of the stomach. So how is HCl produced? First of all, one thing we should know is that the inside of the parietal cell has carbonic anhydrase. This is a hormone which helps, this is an enzyme which helps with the association of carbon dioxide and water to form carbonic acid. Now, carbonic acid is unstable, and so it dissociates into bicarbonate and hydrogen ions. Okay, now having known that, let's look at the steps that are taken in order for HCl to be produced. So what we want is hydrochloric acid. So how is that produced? So first of all, we have carbon dioxide from the blood diffusing into the cytosol of the parietal cell. There it combines with water, and this is made possible, the reaction is made possible by carbonic anhydrase, which produces carbonic acid. Carbonic acid, which is not stable, dissociates into hydrogen and bicarbonate. So let's just take that step by step. So carbon dioxide goes into the parietal cell. So once it goes into the parietal cell cytosol, what do we have? We have it combining with water. made possible by carbonic anhydrous to produce carbonic acid, and this dissociates into hydrogen and bicarbonate. Okay, so having these steps done, let's see where the hydrogen goes. So step number 3, the hydrogen is exchanged. Okay, the hydrogen is exchanged for potassium. So we have a hydrogen potassium exchanger. Now this protein works, it's an active pump. So it works by breaking down ATP, and once ATP is broken down to ADP and a phosphate, we have potassium coming into the cell and hydrogen being pumped into the lumen. And so we have our first product of HCl, which is the hydrogen itself. What happens to the bicarbonate? So the bicarbonate is also exchanged for chloride ions. So it will go into the blood vessel, and it will be exchanged for chloride ions. Now once the chloride ions are in the cytosol, they will go into lumen of the stomach through chloride channels. These are found on the lumen. Okay, and then we have our second product, which is the HCl. So briefly, that is how we have our hydrochloric acid in the stomach. All right, now having that in mind, how is this regulated? What increases the secretion of hydrochloric acid? What reduces the secretion? And so let's just remind